I'm living my dream, but
No, I see. Jennifer.
Oh my God.
Jennifer,
Oh my God.
I know. It's Jennifer Lopez. I know. I know. It's J-Lo.
I can't deal with J-Lo.
Jennifer Lopez, often referred to as J-Lo, is an iconic figure in entertainment. Known for her multifaceted career as a singer, actress, dancer, and businesswoman. Rising to fame in the 1990s with her breakthrough acting role in Selena.
You're gonna ruin your career, you're gonna ruin your life. You're only 20 years old. Give yourself some time.
Dad, I don't care what you say, it doesn't matter, okay? I love him!
Lopez quickly cemented her status as a global superstar. Her impact spans music, film, television, and fashion, making her one of the most influential Latina performers in Hollywood. With a career marked by numerous awards and accolades, Lopez remains a cultural force, redefining success and breaking barriers in entertainment. Jennifer Lynn Lopez was born on July 24, 1969, in the Bronx, a borough of New York City, and raised in its Castle Hill neighborhood. Her parents, Guadalupe Rodriguez and David Lopez, were born in Puerto Rico and met in New York City. After serving in the Army, David worked as a computer technician at Guardian Insurance Company, while Guadalupe was a homemaker during the first 10 years of Lopez's life. Later, she worked as a Tupperware salesperson and as both a kindergarten and gym teacher. The couple divorced in the 1990s after 33 years of marriage. Lopez is the middle child, with an older sister, Leslie, and a younger sister, Linda. The three shared a bedroom growing up. Lopez has described her upbringing as strict. Raised in a Roman Catholic family, she attended Mass every Sunday and received a Catholic education, attending Holy Family School and the all-girls Preston High School, a private institution. In school, Lopez ran track at a national level, participated in gymnastics, and was on the softball team. She also danced in school musicals and played a lead role in a production of Godspell.
I started my career singing and dancing and everything in musical theater.
She described herself as a tomboy and very athletic. Music was a constant presence in her typically Puerto Rican household, and Lopez and her sisters were encouraged to sing, dance, and create their own plays for family events. West Side Story made a particularly strong impression on the young Lopez, who aspired to be an entertainer from an early age. As a teenager, she learned flamenco, jazz, and ballet at the Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club, and even taught dance to younger students, including future actress Kerry Washington. After graduating from high school, Lopez held a part-time secretarial job at a law firm and briefly studied business at New York's Baruch College. However, at age 18, she left college to become a full-time student at Manhattan's Phil Black Dance Studio, where she had already been taking night classes in jazz and tap dance. Her parents were unhappy with her decision to leave college to pursue a dance career. Lopez later shared that her parents considered it foolish because no Latinas did that. As a result, her mother asked her to move out of the family home, and the two stopped speaking for 8 months. Lopez moved to Manhattan, where she slept in the dance studio's office for the first few months.
No, it was more about me.
I've had the nervous breakdown where I freeze up.
I've followed my heart and my instincts, and this is where it brought me to.
We're like best friends.
For the first time, Jennifer Lopez speaking out to Interview magazine about her divorce.
We had this kind of crazy, tumultuous relationship.
J-Lo goes deep in that interview, pulling back the curtain on her divorce, loneliness, and uncertainty. She calls this year the hardest time of her life.
Lopez was in a nearly decade-long relationship with David Cruz, her high school boyfriend, until the mid-1990s. They were engaged at one point, and Cruz relocated to Los Angeles to be with her when she began pursuing her career. She later said of Cruz, "You get lucky. You have a first love like that." She was married to Cuban waiter Ojani Noah from February 1997 to January 1998. In subsequent court cases, Noah was prevented from publishing a book about their marriage and from using private honeymoon footage of Lopez in a documentary.
The wedding was actually, it was very crazy.
Lopez was in an on-again, off-again relationship with record producer and rapper Sean Combs, then known as Puff Daddy. On the night of December 27, 1999, Lopez and Combs were arrested and charged with criminal possession of a weapon and possession of stolen property after leaving the scene of a shooting at a Times Square nightclub. Charges against Lopez were dropped within an hour, while Combs was acquitted of all charges at trial in March 2001.
So sitting there, being handcuffed to a bench, and, I do remember feeling the comfort of someone caring about you enough that, they just wanted to make it okay and pay and pay.
They broke up shortly thereafter. Lopez later said that, while she had cared very much about Combs, their crazy, tumultuous relationship was always something I knew would end. She was married to Chris Judd, her former backup dancer. Before her divorce from Judd was finalized, Lopez was in a relationship with actor and filmmaker Ben Affleck. Although they had crossed paths several times before, including at the 70th Academy Awards and at the premiere of Armageddon, both in 1998, their first major meeting was on the set of Giggly in December 2001. They later worked together on the music video for Jenny from the Block and the film Jersey Girl. Her album, This Is Me, then was dedicated to and inspired by Affleck. Their relationship was extensively publicized, with tabloids referring to the couple as Bennifer, a portmanteau Vanity Fair described as the first of that sort of tabloid branding.
All right, you and Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Bennifer.
Right.
People weren't combining names like that before.
No, that was new.
That was new?
Yeah.
You did that. Somehow.
We kind of did that. Yes. I'm engaged!
They became engaged in November 2002, but their planned wedding on September 14, 2003, was postponed with 4 days' notice due to excessive media attention.
You get to know each other.
We got to know the real person, as opposed to like the Mac.
They ended their engagement in January 2004. Years later, Lopez said Affleck's discomfort with media scrutiny was one reason for their split and described it as her first real heartbreak.
What he made me believe about myself only comes from love, because nobody else could make me see that about myself.
I think different time, different thing, who knows what could have happened, but there was a genuine love there.
It's moving. Because I didn't think much of myself. And so the world didn't think much of me. That lined up.
After her relationship with Affleck, Lopez stopped discussing her personal life in interviews. She was married to singer Mark Anthony. They had previously worked together and dated for a few months in the late 1990s. Their wedding took place 5 months after the end of her relationship with Affleck. During their marriage, they collaborated on music and performed together and co-starred in El Cantante.
Actor was the biggest. He had it all. He had everything. And he had me.
Lopez gave birth to fraternal twins, a boy and a girl, on Long Island People magazine, reportedly paid $6 million for the first photographs of the twins, making them the most expensive celebrity pictures ever taken at the time. In 2009, Anthony and Lopez purchased a stake in the Miami Dolphins. They announced their separation in July 2011, and Anthony filed for divorce in April 2012, which was finalized in June 2014.
Yeah, let's see.
You're a pig.
It broke my heart to see that she had been hurt.
I know it was pretty devastating to her to have her marriage end.
Lopez retained primary physical custody of their 2 children. Lopez occasionally performs with her daughter, Emme.
Mr. Worldwide and the world's most beautiful woman.
Lopez had an on-again, off-again relationship with her former backup dancer, Casper Smart.
You've been in a relationship with your choreographer, Casper Smart, who I understand likes to be called Bo, but you call him, do you call him Bear?
I call him Bo.
You call him
Bear.
Bo?
No, Bear, I just because he is like a bit of a bear.
Yeah.
A 1-2. Driven deep to center field. Going back Patterson. Still back.
She dated New York Yankees baseball player Alex Rodriguez.
She said yes. 3 words sending social media into a frenzy after Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez announced their engagement on Instagram.
They became engaged in March 2019, but postponed their wedding twice due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In response to tabloid speculation about the state of their relationship, they released a statement in March 2021 saying they were working through some things. They announced the end of their relationship in April 2021. In April 2021, Lopez and Affleck were reported to be dating again, with Lopez publicly confirming their rekindled relationship that July. In April 2022, Lopez announced their second engagement, 20 years after the first proposal. They were married in Las Vegas and held a wedding celebration for family and friends the following month. On August 20, 2024, Lopez filed for divorce from Affleck, citing April 26, 2024, as the date of their separation. She also requested that her legal name be changed back to Jennifer Lynn Lopez. Lopez's first professional job came in 1989 when she spent 5 months touring Europe with the musical revue show Golden Musicals of Broadway. She was upset at being the only member of the chorus not to have a solo, later describing it as a pivotal moment where she had to try harder and become that much more committed. In 1990, she danced alongside MC Hammer in an episode of Yo MTV Raps.
Hey, man, we here to do this, man. Yeah, man. Well, you know, every city we go to, Freddie, we like to get together with some ladies, audition them, and put them on tour with us.
And spent 4 months in Japan as a chorus member in Synchronicity. Upon returning to the United States, she was hired as a backup dancer for New Kids on the block's performance of Games at the 1991 American Music Awards. She also toured the U.S. with regional productions of Jesus Christ Superstar and Oklahoma. During this time, Lopez danced in music videos for Dougie Fresh's Summertime, Richard Rodgers' Can't Stop Loving You, EPMD's Rampage, and Samantha Fox's Hurt Me, But the Pants Stay On. Reflecting on this period, Lopez said, "I'd dance in a piece of garbage rap or pop video for $50 and make the money last a whole month." Her most high-profile job as a professional dancer was as a fly girl on the sketch comedy series In Living Color.
First of all, we have a new fly girl coming all the way from Bronx, New York, Miss Jennifer Lopez.
The show's choreographer, Rosie Perez, said she chose Lopez because she had that look that I knew the audience would tune into. Lopez moved to Los Angeles in late 1991 for the job. She filmed In Living Color during the day and attended acting classes taught by Aaron Spicer at night. However, she felt ostracized by the other fly girls due to her voluptuous figure and clashed with Perez. Virgin Records considered signing the Fly Girls as a girl group to rival the Spice Girls, but the deal fell through. After appearing as a Fly Girl in seasons 3 and 4 of In Living Color, Lopez left to work as a backup dancer for Janet Jackson and appeared in the music video for That's the Way Love Goes. She was scheduled to tour with Jackson on her Janet World Tour in late 1993, but opted to pursue an acting career instead. Lopez then hired In Living Color producer Eric Gold as her manager, who advised her to lose weight if she wanted to succeed as an actress. Lopez's first professional acting job was a small recurring role on the television show South Central.
Yo no voy a trabajar con esa jodona, ¿ok? Olvídate de eso ahora mismo. No voy a hacerlo. 365. ¿Qué te pasa? ¿Te fuiste loco? Yo no voy a...
She was invited to audition for the pilot by a casting director who had seen her speak during a behind-the-scenes segment of In Living Color. After securing an agent, she was cast in the CBS show Second Chances.
I said to myself, I hope I can be like that woman someday. She has the perfect life, family, career.
Though the series was quickly canceled, her popularity with viewers led to her being cast in its spin-off Hotel Malibu. She also appeared in the television film Lost in the Wild. For her first major movie role in Gregory Nava's 1995 drama Mi Familia, Lopez received a nomination for the Independent Spirit Award for Best Supporting Actress.
Solo puedo ir para adelante, señor, por favor.
Mire, por favor, espérese para otro tiempo.
She then starred in the action comedy Money Train. Although the film was not a box office success, her performance was positively reviewed, which helped her gain more attention in Hollywood.
I can understand about you and your brother. What I'm not understanding is what's going on between you and me.
In 1996, Lopez had a supporting role opposite Robin Williams in the comedy Jack.
All right, I know some of you must be curious about Jack, so why don't we just take some time right now and ask him some of the questions that you've got on your minds? Is that all right with you, Jack?
Directed by Francis Ford Coppola, who cast her after seeing her in Mi Familia. She next starred opposite Jack Nicholson in the neo-noir thriller Blood and Wine, where David Rooney of Variety praised her for juggling the smoldering and soulful sides of her character.
My family wants to know when they're going to meet you. This man that I see so much.
With her casting as singer Selena Quintanilla Perez in the biopic Selena, 1997, Lopez became the first Latina actress to earn $1 million for a film. She described her salary for the role as a statement to the world, but expressed disappointment that other Latina actors weren't receiving the same opportunities. Despite having previously worked with director Gregory Nava on Mi Familia, Lopez went through an intense audition process and spent time with the late singer's family in Corpus Christi, Texas, before filming began. Selena was a box office hit, and Lopez's performance received critical acclaim.
Excuse me, miss. Can we try this on?
Well, I don't think you'd be interested in that one.
Why?
Well, because that dress is $800.
You know what? Could you just take it off the mannequin? We'd like to try it on.
Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times called it a star-making performance and wrote, "She has the star presence to look convincing in front of 100,000 fans." Lopez earned her first Golden Globe nomination for the role. Nava asked Warner Brothers to fund an Academy Award campaign for Lopez, but they declined, saying the Academy would never nominate a Latina. Later in 1997, Lopez starred alongside Ice Cube in the horror film Anaconda, which received negative reviews but was a box office success.
You know, but this film was supposed to be my big break.
Joe Layden of Variety called the film silly, but gave it a little credit for being the first movie of its kind to have a Latina and an African American as its stars. In the crime film U-Turn, Jennifer Lopez appeared in a scene that director Oliver Stone added during filming. The scene involved nudity, but it's important to note that this was part of the film's artistic choices and storytelling. Lopez later said it was not something I would have chosen to do, and that she and Stone had disagreements over it, noting, "It's hard being the only woman on a set."
Lift me down. You can put me down now. I'm safe.
Lopez starred opposite George Clooney in the crime caper Out of Sight, Steven Soderbergh's adaptation of Elmore Leonard's 1996 novel. cast as a deputy federal marshal who falls for a charming criminal, she won rave reviews for her performance.
Don't go.
Those guys bother you?
Oh, they're fine. I mean, you just got here.
Janet Maslin of the New York Times described it as her best movie role thus far, praising her for bringing both seductiveness and grit to the part. Kenneth Turan of the Los Angeles Times said Lopez was an actress who can be convincingly tough and devastatingly erotic, and felt the film solidified her as a woman you can confidently build a film around. In 2021, Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian named Lopez and Clooney's partnership as one of the best examples of on-screen chemistry in cinema history. Also in 1998, Lopez voiced the character Azteca in the animated film Ants.
Ooh, sorry, Z. I didn't see ya.
Great, Azteca. It's working already. I'm so meaningless, I'm invisible.
And ventured into product endorsement, becoming a national spokesperson for Coca-Cola and L'Oreal.
Working hard today, but what's important will never change.
Family, friends.
This hair, it's an A+, and I'm worth it.
Lopez decided to pursue a music career after working on Selena, realizing that she missed the excitement of the stage. Her new manager, Benny Medina, aimed to position her as a brand name that will cross over into all media. Feeling connected to her Latin roots, Lopez recorded a Spanish-language demo for circulation among prospective labels, which sparked a bidding war. Tommy Mottola, head of Sony Music's work group, signed her but suggested she sing in English instead. Her record deal with Sony was described as lucrative, with Sony outbidding Capitol Records and EMI Latin. While Lopez worked on her debut album, Sony launched a major push to feature her alongside other high-profile entertainers, leading her to appear in Sean Combs' music video for Been Around the World. Her debut album, On the Six, named after the 6 subway line that connected her childhood home in the Bronx to Manhattan, received positive reviews and further boosted her public profile. The album was a success, and Lopez's debut single, If You Had My Love, topped the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 for 5 consecutive weeks. Another single, Waiting for Tonight, reached number 8 and became an anthem for the new millennium. Other singles from the album included Let's Get Loud, which became one of Lopez's signature songs, and Know Me Ames, a duet with her future husband, Mark Anthony. In July 1999, Lopez performed If You Had My Love and Let's Get Loud at the closing ceremony of the 1999 FIFA Women's World Cup, which was watched by over 1 billion viewers worldwide, significantly expanding her international music audience. In February 2000, Lopez and then-boyfriend Sean Combs attended the Grammy Awards, with Lopez wearing a plunging green Versace silk chiffon dress. The dress generated worldwide attention and became the most popular search query in Google's history, leading to the creation of Google Images. The moment also boosted sales for both Lopez's album and her movie tickets. Later that year, Lopez starred in the psychological thriller The Cell, for which she received a $4 million salary. In the film, she played a psychologist who uses radical experimental therapy to enter the mind of a killer.
Killer. I was like, okay, great. Just try to make everything feel authentic and real.
The movie received mixed reviews, but was a box office success. David Edelstein of Slate remarked that the imperious Lopez was trying to look waifishly expectant, while Amy Taubin of The Village Voice noted that she seemed engaged in some kind of pouting competition in lieu of acting. In January 2001, Lopez became the first woman to have a #1 film and album simultaneously, with the release of her sophomore album J-Lo and her romantic comedy The Wedding Planner, co-starring Matthew McConaughey. The Wedding Planner received highly negative reviews, but became a box office success.
You are the luckiest girl in the world. When I did Whitney Houston's wedding, she was even more nervous than you. And you look 10 times better than she did.
Jessica Winter of The Village Voice found Lopez miscast as a buttoned-down, celibate woman. Lopez titled her album J-Lo after the nickname that her fans and the media had increasingly been using for her. She also adopted J-Lo as her stage name. The album received polarized reviews, but became the most successful of her career, selling 12 million copies worldwide. It included the singles Love Don't Cost a Thing, which reached #1 in various countries, I'm Real, featuring Ja Rule, which peaked atop the Billboard Hot 100, as well as Ain't It Funny and Play. In support of the album, Lopez performed a 2-concert residency in Puerto Rico, which was later broadcast in November 2001 as the NBC special Jennifer Lopez in Concert. The special was one of the most watched concert events of the year in the U.S., with an audience of nearly 12 million.
Here to world premiere her new clothing line, please welcome the lovely, the talented Jennifer Lopez.
In 2001, Lopez also launched her first business venture, the clothing line J-Lo by Jennifer Lopez, which catered to women of all sizes, as she felt that the voluptuous woman was almost ignored in the fashion industry. She also founded her production company, Nuyorican Productions, with her manager, Benny Medina. Her next film was the romantic drama Angel Eyes, in which she starred opposite Jim Caviezel. While Lopez's performance was well-reviewed, the film itself was a critical and commercial disappointment.
I love Graveyard. No traffic. There's nothing worse than a...
She had also been slated to star alongside Ricky Martin in a remake of Elvis Presley's Viva Las Vegas, but the project did not materialize. Lopez released 2 albums in 2002. The first was J to Thay L.O., The Remixes, which became the first remix album in history to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200. Its singles included Ain't It Funny, Murder Remix, and I'm Gonna Be Alright, which peaked at #1 and #10 on the Billboard Hot 100, respectively. Her third studio album, This Is Me, then was released later that year and was heavily influenced by her relationship with then-fiancé Ben Affleck. The album received mixed reviews. Billboard's Michael Paoletta noted the considerable growth she reveals as a performer and tunesmith, while John Caramanica criticized it as the least interesting music on the pop charts today. Despite the mixed reception, the album became a commercial success, achieving the highest opening sales week of her career. The album's lead single, Jenny from the Block, peaked at #3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was seen as a response to criticism that Lopez had alienated her core fan base, the Black and Hispanic hip-hop community. The album also spawned the #1 single, All I Have.
It makes a cat nervous, the thought of settling down.
Lopez starred as an abused wife who fights back in the thriller Enough, a role that required her to learn Krav Maga. During the filming, Lopez, who was overworked, suffered a nervous breakdown in 2001.
Fool around. I sit here, I take care of your house and your kid. Well, no more.
The film received negative reviews. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times found it to be tacky material and expressed surprise that an actress like Jennifer Lopez was involved in the project. Her next film, the romantic comedy Made in Manhattan, in which Lopez starred opposite Ralph Fiennes as a maid and single mother from the Bronx, became the highest-grossing film of her career.
I'm Chris Marshall.
Caroline.
Reviewing Made in Manhattan, A.O. Scott of the New York Times praised Lopez's performance, saying that her greatest skill as an actress was her ability to melt without cracking the hard shell of composure she wears. In other ventures in 2002, Lopez opened Madres, a Los Angeles restaurant serving Latin cuisine, and released her first fragrance, Glow by J.Lo, which became the top-selling fragrance in the U.S.
Glow by J.Lo, the first fragrance by Jennifer Lopez.
Lopez became the subject of widespread media criticism in 2003 due to her public relationship with Ben Affleck and the tabloid depiction of her as a demanding diva. She fired both her personal manager, Benny Medina, and her publicist in mid-2003. The New York Times reported that movie executives had become frustrated by having their communications with Lopez largely filtered through Medina. That year, Lopez starred opposite Affleck in the romantic comedy Giggly, which was a box office bomb and is considered one of the worst films of all time.
Where are you going?
It's turkey time.
Rex Reed of The Observer criticized the lead actors, calling them pathetically incompetent in both craft and talent. Roger Ebert agreed that the movie doesn't quite work, but found Lopez and Affleck appealing in their performances and noted the couple's chemistry. Later in 2003, she released her second fragrance, Still Jennifer Lopez, and became the face of Louis Vuitton's fall advertising campaign. Lopez had a minor role opposite Affleck in the film Jersey Girl. Following test audiences' negative reactions to the on-screen couple, her screen time was halved. Lopez later described this as the lowest point of her career and admitted she felt eviscerated by the media coverage surrounding Jiggly. "I lost my sense of self, questioned if I belonged in this business, thought maybe I did suck at everything, and my relationship self-destructed in front of the entire world. It was a 2-year thing for me until I picked myself up again." Months later, she starred opposite Richard Gere in the romantic comedy drama Shall We Dance, which was a box office success.
Don't say anything, and don't think. And don't move unless you feel it.
Lopez's clothing lines and 2 fragrances generated over $300 million in revenue throughout 2004. The marketing for the romantic comedy Monster-in-Law, in which Lopez starred opposite Jane Fonda, played up her giggly and tabloid tarnished image, and it became a box office success.
Will you marry me?
It's too sudden. She's in shock.
No, I mean I am, but seriously.
Seriously.
She released her 4th studio album, Rebirth, in early 2005. Its title was symbolic of Lopez's hopes for a new professional beginning. It was recorded during a period when Lopez felt a little bit lost, trying to get my footing in a new life. She had just gotten married to singer Mark Anthony and was no longer working with Benny Medina. In a review of Rebirth, journalist Alexis Petridis remarked that the title suggests even Lopez has realized that something is amiss with her career. Despite the highlights, you're still left pondering the question, what happened to Jennifer Lopez? The album reached number 2 on the Billboard 200, but failed to replicate the sales of her previous albums. Its lead single, Get Right, reached number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming one of her most successful songs. Also, in 2005, Lopez launched her second fashion label, Sweet Face, which was geared towards high fashion in comparison to her earlier line, and appeared in a Kill Bill-inspired Pepsi commercial with Beyoncé and David Beckham. The next year, she returned to the top 5 of the Billboard Hot 100 as a featured artist on Control Myself, the lead single from LL Cool J's 12th studio album.
I know you like it. Let me hit you on your sidekick. Cause the after party is at my body. Meet me, you're invited.
Lopez's next 3 movie projects were box office failures. She starred alongside Robert Redford and Morgan Freeman in the drama An Unfinished Life.
I don't want to be here either. We need a place to stay for about a month or so.
Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times predicted that reviews would be unkind. It will have no respect for Jennifer Lopez because she is going through a period right now when nobody is satisfied with anything she does. Give Lopez your permission to be good again. She is the same actress now as when we thought her so new and fine. In 2006, she reunited with director Gregory Nava to star in the crime drama Border Town as a journalist investigating female homicides in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. The film was negatively reviewed and received a direct-to-video release.
The police will never allow it, never.
Of course the police won't allow it. That's why you're not going to tell them until I'm in there already. They're not going to risk having an American journalist killed. Look, besides, there must be people on the police that you trust, or they're giving you information. People who care about the truth.
Yeah.
David Darcy of Screen Daily found Lopez unconvincing as a journalist. In 2007, she starred opposite her then-husband, Mark Anthony, in the music biopic El Cantante, which told the story of Puerto Rican salsa singer Hector Lavoe and his wife, Pucci.
By 1975, Hector had recorded 12 albums. He had 7 #1 hits. Madison Square Garden. He filled that place up like that.
The film did not perform well at the box office and received mixed reviews from critics. Lopez's performance, which she expressed pride in, drew both praise and criticism. Lopez released 2 studio albums in 2007. Her 5th album, Como Ama Una Mujer, was her first to be recorded entirely in Spanish. Chris Willman of Entertainment Weekly acknowledged that the album offered fairly persuasive proof that Lopez can sing, but was unimpressed by the flaccid torch songs. It became the 5th Spanish-language album to debut in the top 10 of the Billboard 200 and achieved the highest first-week sales for an artist's debut Spanish album at the time. The lead single, ¿Qué hiciste?, reached number 86 on the Billboard Hot 100, while the second single, Me haces falta, failed to chart. Lopez's 6th studio album, Brave, released later that year, was her lowest charting album worldwide. Jonathan Bernstein of Entertainment Weekly was disappointed that Lopez had returned to listless vocals for her Back to the Dance Floor album. The album debuted at number 12 on the Billboard 200 and produced 2 singles, Do It Well and Hold It Don't Drop It. The first peaked at number 31 on the Billboard Hot 100,
You do it, you're doing it well.
while the latter failed to chart.
Cause you're a problem, boy, you must have poisoned me.
While pregnant with twins, Lopez embarked on her first concert tour, co-headlining with Anthony in September 2007. The tour was well received. She also created, produced, and featured in the MTV show Dance Life, which she described as a passion project. After giving birth to twins in February 2008, Lopez took a career break. Her restaurant, Madres, closed permanently, as did her 2 fashion lines. After rehiring former manager Benny Medina, Lopez released 2 songs in late 2009, Louboutins and Fresh Out of the Oven. The songs were intended for her 7th studio album, but failed to chart, leading to her departure from Sony Music and Epic Records. Lopez's first theatrical role in 3 years was in the romantic comedy The Backup Plan. Manola Dargis of the New York Times was unimpressed by the movie, describing Lopez as an appealing screen presence with a disappointing big screen track record. That's probably not all her fault. Romantic roles for women often are the provenance of the bland or the blonde. A big turning point in Lopez's career came when she joined the judging panel of the singing competition series American Idol for its 10th season, replacing Simon Cowell. Despite being advised that it was a huge gamble, she accepted the job, as she was not getting offered a whole bunch of movies.
I've had a crush on you since I was I don't even know, like a wee little lad.
Don't say wee little.
Wee little?
Just say crush.
Lopez's appearance on American Idol in 2011 returned her to prominence. Hannah Elliott of Forbes described it as a remarkable comeback, writing, "Idol humanized her. Viewers who knew only an attention-grabbing siren met a hard-working, self-made, empathetic single mother who got emotional when contestants did well and when they failed." Lopez subsequently experienced what Billboard called the most impressive reality TV-based rejuvenation of a music career ever. After signing a new recording contract with Island Records, her 7th studio album, Love, was released in early 2011. While the album was a moderate commercial success, the single On the Floor was the year's highest-selling single by a female artist. It reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming her highest charting single as a lead artist since All I Have. The album produced 2 more singles, I'm Into You and Poppy, which did not achieve similar success. Around this time, Lopez became a brand ambassador for L'Oreal, Gillette Venus, Tous, and Fiat. She also launched the Jennifer Lopez collection, a clothing and homeware line with Tommy Hilfiger for Kohl's. The collection generated an estimated $3 billion in sales during its first year.
That's right. Please welcome back to our stage, my girl, your girl, Jennifer Lopez!
Lopez returned as a judge for American Idol's 11th season in 2012, earning a reported $20 million. That year, she released her greatest hits album, Dance Again, the hits to fulfill her contractual obligations with her former label, Epic Records. Lopez, who was divorcing Anthony and navigating the breakup of a family, felt that the album's sole single, Dance Again, came to her at the perfect moment. Dance Again reached number 17 on the US Billboard Hot 100. Lopez launched the Dance Again World Tour, her first headlining concert tour, in mid-2012, which grossed over $1 million per show. Also that year, she launched Teology, a luxury t-shirt brand.
Truly, madly, deeply in love.
Lopez returned to the big screen in 2012, starring alongside an ensemble cast in the film What to Expect When You're Expecting, which was based on the 1984 book of the same name.
Do you have a wedding photo? The Ethiopian authorities really like to see that in the package.
No. Yeah, we do. I think it's right here. Vegas. It was a costume wedding. I was Prince, Holly was a showgirl.
Lopez voiced Shira, a saber-toothed tiger, in the animated film Ice Age, Continental Drift, the 4th film in the Ice Age franchise. Also in 2012, the talent show Que Viva, The Chosen followed Lopez, Anthony, and director-choreographer Jamie King as they traveled across 21 countries in Latin America to find new talent for a Las Vegas show. In 2013, Lopez starred alongside Jason Statham in the crime thriller Parker, in which she played Leslie.
I've been in 1/3 of the houses around here, and I know the rest. I can answer your questions, and I can tell you what questions you're forgetting to ask.
Her performance earned positive reviews, with the Chicago Tribune commending the role for giving Lopez an opportunity to be dramatic, romantic, funny, depressed, euphoric, and violent. The audience stays with her all the way. That year, Lopez released the single Live It Up, founded the mobile phone retail brand Viva Mobile, and was named Chief Creative Officer of Nuvo TV. She also served as an executive producer of the television series The Fosters, a show about a lesbian couple raising a family. Lopez's desire to work on the series was driven by her late aunt, who was gay. After a 1-season absence, Lopez returned to American Idol for its 13th season, earning a reported $17.5 million. Her 8th studio album, AKA, was released in mid-2014 through Capitol Records, but it experienced lackluster sales, becoming her lowest-selling album in the US. The album produced 3 singles, Iluya Papi, featuring French Montana, First Love, and Booty, featuring Iggy Azalea. They reached 77, 87, and 18, respectively, on the Billboard Hot 100. Also that year, Lopez released We Are One, Ole Ola, the official song for the 2014 FIFA World Cup, along with Pitbull and Claudia Leita. Lopez partnered with Endless Jewelry on a range of jewelry and released a book, True Love, which became a New York Times bestseller.
You know, the book started out to be just a diary of the year I went on my first world tour, which was unusual because I had already, was on my 9th album, about to make my 10th album. So we thought, let's document it. It's the first time we're going on a tour.
2015 saw the release of The Boy Next Door, an erotic thriller that Lopez both co-produced and starred in as a high school teacher who becomes involved with a student, leading to his dangerous obsession with her.
He saw me. Get the hell out of there. He's coming back there.
I haven't even found the video of the files yet.
Get the hell out of there. You got 5 minutes max.
The film received negative reviews from critics, but it became her most successful opening at the box office for a live-action film since Monster-in-Law. Lopez had a voice role in the animated feature Home and contributed the single Feel the Light to the film's official soundtrack. She also starred in the independent drama film Lila and Eve, alongside Viola Davis.
Last time you messed up.
That's what I was gonna say, okay? Last time I messed up. So this time, it's all you. If you wanna go, we'll go. If you wanna talk to them, we'll talk to them. If we get a name for that cop, I'll leave the tip, but it's all you.
In January 2016, Lopez commenced her concert residency show All I Have at Planet Hollywood's Zappos Theater in Las Vegas.
Jennifer Lopez delivers her most incredible live performance yet to the Las Vegas stage.
She performed 120 shows during the 3-year run, grossing over $100 million in ticket sales. At the start of the residency, Lopez signed a multi-album deal with her former label, Epic Records, and released Ain't Your Mama, one of her most successful singles of the 2010s. Also in 2016, she began starring in NBC's crime drama series Shades of Blue, which she also executive produced. She played Harley Santos, a single mother and police detective who goes undercover for the FBI to investigate her own squad.
Pretty.
The series premiere brought NBC its most-watched Thursday debut in 7 years. Starring alongside Ray Liotta, Lopez's performance received critical praise. That year, she also reprised her voice role as Shira in the animated film Ice Age: Collision Course, and designed a capsule collection of shoes and jewelry in collaboration with Giuseppe Zanotti.
I've seen things I've never seen before. We're just like, what is happening here?
Lopez was an executive producer and judge on NBC's dance competition series World of Dance, which was a ratings success upon its May 2017 premiere. That year, she released the singles Ni Tu Ni Yo and Amor, 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 which were intended to be part of her second Spanish-language album, Por Primera Vez. Although the album was ultimately shelved. In late 2017, she was announced as the new face of Guess, becoming the oldest spokeswoman in the company's history. In 2018, Lopez released a string of Spanish and Spanglish singles, Se Acabó el Amor, El Anillo, Dinero, featuring DJ Khaled and Cardi B,
Me and my man, we stack it up to the ceiling. More money. Cállate la boca, let me finish.
and Te Guste with Bad Bunny. Forbes noted that while these songs did not completely connect on a crossover mainstream level, they were more successful on US-based Latin charts, with nearly all of them reaching #1 on the Billboard Latin Airplay chart. In collaboration with Inglot Cosmetics, she launched a limited edition makeup collection. She later starred in and executive produced the comedy film Second Act, directed by Peter Siegel.
Let's do this, girls. No. No.
She also recorded the single Limitless for its soundtrack. Second Act earned mixed reviews from critics, but performed well at the box office, grossing $72.3 million during its theatrical run. In the first half of 2019, Lopez embarked on the international It's My Party concert tour to celebrate her 50th birthday. The tour grossed an estimated $54.7 million from 38 shows, with Variety reporting that most shows were sold out.
Today was an amazing day. We finished the whole entire show from top to bottom.
She also signed with the new label Hitco Entertainment and released the single Medicine featuring French Montana.
Ooh, don't get got. Heard you got a bad rep, baby, don't you?
In other 2019 activities, Lopez became the global face of the Coach brand, launched a collection of sunglasses with Quay Australia, and modeled an updated version of her iconic green Versace dress at Milan Fashion Week. She also became an executive producer of 2 television series, Good Trouble and Thanks a Million. Lopez executive produced and starred in the crime drama film Hustlers, directed by Lorene Scafaria. The film, inspired by a true story, follows a group of Manhattan strippers who con wealthy Wall Street clientele.
I mean, some of the girls have been in like Playboy, Hustler. I was a centerfold once.
Lopez's portrayal of a veteran stripper garnered critical acclaim, with some calling it the best performance of her acting career. The film also gave Lopez her highest opening weekend box office for a live-action film, grossing $33.2 million. Her performance earned nominations for Best Supporting Actress at the Golden Globe Awards, Screen Actors Guild Awards, Critics' Choice Movie Awards, and Independent Spirit Awards. The success of Hustlers was regarded by various media outlets as a significant comeback for Lopez as an actress.
The National Football League welcomes you to the Pepsi Super Bowl 54 halftime show.
In February 2020, Lopez co-headlined the Super Bowl Live halftime show in Miami, Florida, alongside Shakira. The performance included an appearance by her daughter, Emi Muniz. The performance was widely praised and became the most watched Super Bowl halftime show to date. Later that year, Lopez released the singles Pati with Maluma, which became her most successful song since 2017, and In the Morning.
Black dress with the white wine, mess it up, watch it fall down.
She then headlined the 2021 Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest special, broadcast live from Times Square on ABC.
New York City, come on!
In January 2021, Lopez performed at the inauguration of President Joe Biden in Washington, D.C.
This your this land is mine.
In business, Lopez focused on investments and creating her own brands. She launched her skincare line, J.Lo Beauty, released a shoe collection in partnership with DSW, and invested in companies including Himes & Hers Health, Body Armor Super Drink, Goli Nutritional Supplements, and the meal delivery service Wonder. In mid-2021, she signed a multi-year deal with Netflix to produce a range of films and television shows through her own New Yorican productions, and released the reggaeton Spanish single Cambia El Paso with Rauw Alejandro.
And it goes like this. Un, dos, tres, avanza, left, right, left, avanza.
Lopez co-produced and starred opposite Owen Wilson and Maluma in the romantic comedy Marry Me, which was released in February 2022. The film grossed over $50 million at the box office, while becoming the most streamed day-and-date film on Peacock, and it received generally mixed reviews from critics.
Really, I mean, you took a shot, even though it was scary.
Lopez also released a soundtrack for the film with Maluma, which included the singles On My Way and Marry Me. In March 2022, Lopez was appointed the Chief Entertainment and Lifestyle Officer of the cruise line Virgin Voyages.
Part of being a great performer is being aware of Whoever's around me right there, you feel me?
Her next project was the documentary Jennifer Lopez Halftime, which focuses on her life after the release of Hustlers and in preparation for her Super Bowl performance. Released on Netflix in June 2022, following its premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival, it garnered generally positive reviews from film critics. In September, Lopez was announced as the global ambassador for the Italian lingerie label Intimissimi.
Traveling in Italy, I discovered a new lingerie brand made with gorgeous fabrics and colorful silks and delicate lace.
The following month, Jimmy Fallon and Lopez released a children's book, Con Polo, a bilingual playtime adventure, which became a New York Times bestseller. Lopez co-produced and starred opposite Josh Duhamel and Jennifer Coolidge in the action comedy Shotgun Wedding, which was released on Amazon Prime Video in January 2023. It became one of the top-streamed films on Prime Video that year.
Honey, maybe we should just, call it a night.
She also led and co-produced the action thriller The Mother, directed by Nikki Caro and released on Netflix in May 2023.
Hector's an independent contractor there.
The supplies, waste management.
His outside contacts happen to reach all through the Caribbean.
While the film received mixed reviews, it became the most watched film on the platform in 2023 and one of the most watched original films on the service of all time. That September, she entered a recording and publishing partnership with BMG Rights Management in conjunction with her Nuyorican productions. Lopez's business ventures in 2023 included launching a spritz brand named DeLola, a collaboration between her lifestyle brand J.Lo by Jennifer Lopez and fashion retailer Revolve, and a footwear line, JLO Jennifer Lopez, released in 3 collections in March, May, and June. Lopez's 9th studio album, This Is Me, now a sequel to This Is Me, then was released by Nuyorican and BMG on February 16, 2024. The album formed part of a 3-part multimedia project, which included a companion musical film, This Is Me, Now, a Love Story, directed by Dave Meyers, and a documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told, both released on Prime Video. Lopez plays a fictionalized version of herself in A Love Story, which was described as an autobiographical musical rom-com action sci-fi.
I've been married 4 times now. I used to be terrified to be alone.
Tim Jones of The Guardian suggested that Lopez may have invented the therapy musical biopic genre. After potential partners backed out, Lopez financed the film herself for $20 million before Amazon subsequently purchased it. Can't Get Enough was released as the album's lead single, followed by Rebound, featuring rapper Anuel AA.
Real, I can't really stick around. Guess the game got cold. Now you wanna got me on it.
To promote the album, Lopez performed Can't Get Enough with Lotto and Redman, as well as the album's title track on Saturday Night Live on February 3, 2024. She also conducted an exclusive concert at the Orpheum Theater in Los Angeles, which was recorded and released as a concert film on Apple Music and Apple TV Plus on February 21st. Additionally, she released a lingerie collection with Intimissimi inspired by the album.
I love lingerie because it's an intimate secret that allows you to feel your most beautiful.
In May 2024, Lopez co-hosted the annual Met Gala in Manhattan, marking her 14th attendance at the Haute Couture event. That same month, she and Australian music producer Fisher released a contemporary remix of Waiting for Tonight, 25 years after the song's release. Lopez was set to embark on the This Is Me live North American tour beginning in June 2024, but canceled it to spend more time with her family.
Good morning, Atlas. Time to wake up.
I'm awake.
Lopez co-produced and starred in the sci-fi thriller Atlas, the 3rd project under her Netflix deal. Released in May 2024, Atlas received negative reviews from critics, but was successful on Netflix, becoming the most-watched movie in 71 countries on its first day. The New York Times praised Lopez's performance, calling the film an intriguing concept. Lopez also starred alongside Gerald Jerome in William Goldenberg's biographical wrestling drama Unstoppable, produced by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Based on the life of wrestler Anthony Robles, Lopez portrayed Judy, his mother. The feature premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival in September, followed by a limited theatrical release in December 2024. Lopez starred in and executive-produced Kiss of the Spider-Woman, directed by Bill Condon, a film adaptation of the 1993 Broadway musical Kiss of the Spider-Woman. It marks her first role in a full-fledged musical, with filming taking place from April to May 2024 in New Jersey. Lopez will also co-produce and star opposite Brett Goldstein in Netflix's Office Romance. Additionally, she will co-produce a series adaptation of Emily Henry's 2023 novel Happy Place for Netflix. She is also committed to lead and co-produce Netflix's film adaptation of the best-selling novel The Cipher. Lopez has several other projects in the works as a producer.
Always not wanting to have one sick child. Come over here. We should all be giving love and we should all be treating each other a certain way, making contribution to this cause. Please join me in giving sick and injured children every chance to get better.
Come on, you gotta get out of here. Come on.
What came down though? What came down? We crashed. The other trade center's down. It's down.
Following the September 11th attacks, Lopez became heavily involved in charitable activities. She joined other artists in contributing to charitable singles such as What's Going On and El Último Adiós, The Last Goodbye, which raised funds for people affected by the tragedy. In February 2007, Lopez was honored with the Artists for Amnesty Prize by Amnesty International for her work in Border Town, which shed light on the hundreds of feminicides in Ciudad Juárez. Lopez described these crimes as one of the world's most shocking and disturbing, underreported crimes against humanity. That same year, $1 from each ticket sold at Lopez and Anthony's co-headlining North American concert tour, which grossed an estimated $10 million, was donated to the Run for Something Better program, aimed at combating childhood obesity.
Just like all moms, I'm always concerned about my children's well-being. But sometimes they get sick, sometimes they get hurt. That's why I'm so grateful we have children's hospitals.
Lopez has long supported the Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Her album Rebirth, 2005, was dedicated to Paige Peterson, an 11-year-old cancer patient she befriended at the hospital who passed away in 2004. Lopez has stated, "I don't like to do my charity work in public. That's not what you do it for." In 2009, she launched the Lopez Family Foundation, originally known as the Maribel Foundation, alongside her sister Linda. The organization aims to increase healthcare access for underprivileged women and children, including through a telemedicine program in partnership with the Children's Hospital Los Angeles. The foundation has facilitated the expansion of medical facilities in Panama and Puerto Rico and created the Center for a Healthy Childhood at Montefiore Medical Center in the Bronx. In December 2012, Lopez held a charity drive to benefit her three favorite charities: the Gloria Wise Boys and Girls Club, the Children's Hospital Los Angeles, and the American Red Cross, mainly benefiting victims of Hurricane Sandy. In May 2015, she became the first celebrity spokesperson for the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals and the BC Children's Hospital Foundation, appearing in a campaign titled "Put Your Money Where the Miracles Are." That September, she became the first global advocate for girls and women at the United Nations Foundation, a role that involves mobilizing action to address issues including maternal health care programs, education, and violence against women. In September 2017, following Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria, Lopez donated $1 million from the proceeds of her Las Vegas residency to humanitarian aid for Puerto Rico. Along with Mark Anthony, she launched a humanitarian relief campaign titled Somos Una Voz. In English, it means "We Are One Voice," an effort supported by various celebrities to rush supplies to areas affected by Hurricane Maria. Lopez and Anthony also presented a concert and telethon for disaster relief, One Voice, Somos Live, which raised over $35 million. She was also among the artists featured on Lin-Manuel Miranda's charity single, Almost Like Praying, which benefited Puerto Rico. As of 2021, Lopez continues to regularly donate to and support charities. In September 2021, she launched her own philanthropic organization, Limitless Labs, to support and empower Latina entrepreneurs and business owners.
There's always challenges in starting a business for anyone, but that really isn't the question. The issue is, why haven't Latinas been given an equal chance to make and take on those challenges?
Lopez announced a partnership between the venture and the 10,000 Small Businesses Initiative. In June 2022, Lopez and Limitless Labs partnered with nonprofit Grameen America as a national ambassador to empower women-led Latina businesses with $14 billion in business loans and 6 million hours of financial education and training by 2030. Lopez has also performed at charity concerts throughout her career, including the Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation's Blue Diamond Gala in 2022, which raised $3.6 million for education, healthcare, homelessness, and social justice causes.
Growing up, my family didn't always have a lot.
Jennifer Lopez taking the stage at Bayfront Park in downtown Miami, holding a free campaign concert.
Jennifer Lopez headlining the Blue Diamond Gala, which is a big fundraiser that's going to benefit many organizations.
A supporter of the Democratic Party, Lopez has a long history of backing Democratic candidates for public office. She endorsed President Barack Obama in his 2012 presidential campaign, appearing in television advertisements and attending fundraising events for him. She also endorsed Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton in 2016, headlining a free concert in Florida in support of her campaign that October. Lopez was critical of President Donald Trump during his presidency. During her Super Bowl halftime show performance in 2020, she sang her song "Let's Get Loud" while draped in a large Puerto Rican flag, with children in metal cages displayed on the field. This was interpreted as a statement about the Mexico-United States border crisis and Trump's immigration policy. The NFL attempted to remove the cages from the performance, but Lopez refused. She later endorsed President Joe Biden in his 2020 presidential campaign and performed at Biden's 2021 inauguration, where she sang "This Land Is Your Land" and "America the Beautiful," while reciting the final phrase of the Pledge of Allegiance in Spanish. She also incorporated "Let's Get Loud" into the performance as a reprise to her political message from the Super Bowl. Lopez is a passionate supporter of LGBT rights and has raised millions of dollars for HIV/AIDS research. In June 2013, AmFAR presented her with its Humanitarian Award for her philanthropic work. That September, she received the Ally for Equality Award from the Human Rights Campaign for her support of the LGBT community.
Tonight, Jennifer joins the legendary names in GLAAD Media Award history.
The following year, she was honored with the GLAAD Vanguard Award. In July 2016, Lopez released a single titled "Love Make the World Go Round," a collaboration with Lin-Manuel Miranda, to benefit victims of the Orlando nightclub shooting. She was also featured on the song "Hands," alongside numerous other artists, to further support those affected by the Orlando tragedy. Lopez signed an open letter from Billboard magazine to the United States Congress in 2016, calling for action on gun control. In June 2020, Lopez attended a Black Lives Matter protest in Los Angeles as part of the broader George Floyd protests. She has also been an active advocate for the Time's Up movement.
Are you ready? Is you ready? Ready? You say you ready?
In January 2022, she became one of the co-chairs for Michelle Obama's When We All Vote initiative. During the 2023 Israel-Hamas war, she expressed solidarity with the people of the Gaza Strip. As part of a group called Artists for Ceasefire, she signed a letter urging President Joe Biden to call for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza.
My folks react. I fell in love.
Lopez has cited Madonna as her first big musical influence, explaining, "It was all about Madonna for me. She inspired me to want to sing, to dance, to work hard." Her other major influences include Tina Turner, James Brown, and Michael Jackson. Barbra Streisand has also been a significant influence on Lopez, who said, "Watching her career over the years, watching her sing, act, and direct was very inspiring to me." Lopez has also mentioned Janet Jackson as a major inspiration for her own dance and videos, stating that she probably started dancing because of Jackson's music video for The Pleasure Principle. She looked to the careers of Cher, Bette Midler, and Diana Ross, and has also been inspired by younger artists like Lady Gaga. Growing up, Lopez was influenced by various Latin music styles ranging from salsa to bachata, and by artists such as Celia Cruz and Tito Puente. However, it was the hip-hop song Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang that she said changed her life.
The front, you do the freaks bang, you do the bump, and when the sucker MCs try to prove a point.
Another key inspiration for Lopez in her youth was Puerto Rican actress Rita Moreno's performance in the musical film West Side Story. At a time when Latinos were rarely seen on television, Moreno was the only performer Lopez felt she could identify with.
And back it up like a Tonka truck.
Musically, Lopez has been described as a chameleon by outlets like Variety and Forbes, known for her ability to experiment with and shift between genres. Her music is strongly identified with hip-hop, while also exploring the romantic innocence of Latin music. Billboard observed that Lopez has never been one to downplay her Latinidad and always makes sure to display it in her music, regardless of genre. Her albums On the Six and J-Lo, which Lopez describes as Latin soul, blend a wide range of Latin genres with R&B and hip-hop, while also incorporating dance pop elements. While primarily in English, the albums include some Spanish and bilingual songs, such as Cariño, with Lopez asserting her Latin identity on tracks like Let's Get Loud. A departure from her earlier work, This Is Me, then blends 1970s soul with streetwise hip-hop. Rebirth was noted for its relaxing atmosphere, while Como Ama Una Mujer was characterized as silkily Spanish sod worship. Much of Lopez's music is described as autobiographical, centering around the ups and downs of love. Lyrically, This Is Me then largely focuses on her relationship with Ben Affleck, with the song Dear Ben described as the album's glowing centerpiece. Its sequel album, This Is Me, Now, was inspired by her reunion and marriage with Affleck. Lopez called it an emotional, spiritual, and psychological journey of the past 2 decades. Como Ama Una Mujer features introspective lyrics about romance, heartache, and self-reflection. Regarding her album Love, Lopez explained, "There's still so much to learn, and that's why the question mark." Other recurring themes in Lopez's music have included her upbringing in the Bronx, social class, and women's empowerment. Lopez has received mixed reviews for her light soubrette voice, which critics have described as limited, radio-friendly, and often overshadowed by the production of her music. Regarding On the Six, the Baltimore Sun noted Lopez's breathy stylistic range, but said she lacked personality, while Rolling Stone remarked, "Instead of strained vocal pyrotechnics, Lopez sticks to the understated R&B murmur of a round-the-way superstar who doesn't need to belt because she knows you're already paying attention. She makes a little va-va and a whole lot of voom go a long way." In reviewing Love, AllMusic described her voice as slight and commented, "Lopez was never, ever about singing. She was about style." Pitchfork noted that her notoriously serviceable, airy, and light voice was stronger than ever on This Is Me. Now, while acknowledging that the thinness of the voice has often been beside the point, if not a boon to her early career, which was characterized by her Bronx regularness, Lopez has faced criticism for her use of background vocals from demo singers, leading to rumors of ghost singers being used in place of her own vocals. However, these rumors have been debunked by producers and background singers who worked with her. Christina Milian, who is credited as a writer and background singer on Play, called the controversy funny and explained, "It's no different than Michael Jackson having background singers on songs or Britney Spears. This is what music is made of."
Till we get it.
Considered one of dance's greatest success stories, Lopez has received praise for her highly choreographed dancing and is noted for her technical skill. Lopez, who has felt an emotional connection to dance since her youth, has been trained in a range of dance styles, including ballet, jazz, flamenco, ballroom, pole dancing, break dancing, street dance, and hip-hop. A dominant figure on MTV since early in her career, she is known for her body-emphasizing music videos and provocative choreography. CNN's Holly Thomas stated that Lopez's years of professional dance experience gave her a captivating, commanding presence in her videos. Madeline Roth of MTV wrote, "Her diverse videography encompasses some of the most memorable visuals of the 21st century," with Rolling Stone writer Brittany Spanos observing that her dancing skills and ability to toy with her own celebrity have made her videos an important part of the new millennium's pop canon. Her videography has sometimes attracted controversy for its suggestiveness and has been noted for its influence on 2000s fashion trends. On stage, Lopez is recognized for her showmanship, sex appeal, and costumes, which often include bodysuits. Author Priscilla Peña Ovalle stated in Dance in the Hollywood Latina, Race, and Stardom, 2011, that Lopez was one of the Latin stars who used dance to gain agency as working performers with mainstream careers, yet many of their roles paradoxically racialized and sexualized their bodies. Troy Patterson of Entertainment Weekly observed that she used her body for emphasis on stage, saying, "She turned herself out as the fly girl hyperversion of post-feminist power, flaunting her control by toying with the threat of excess. In consequence, her star went supernova." Her signature movements include clockwise pivoting with salsa hip circles and sequential torso undulations. While she was noted to lip-sync in the early stages of her career, Lopez's Dance Again World Tour was praised for showcasing live vocals and choreography performed synchronously. In a review of her Las Vegas residency, All I Have, Los Angeles Times writer Nolan Feeney remarked that her dancing is undoubtedly the centerpiece of the show. Her provocative stage performances have also drawn scrutiny at times. Robin Given of The Daily Beast criticized Lopez's performance at the 2011 American Music Awards, where she wore a nude bodysuit, stating that it cried out for attention in all the wrong ways and was banal exhibitionism. In May 2013, her performance on the finale of the television series Britain's Got Talent was deemed inappropriate for family-friendly television and drew viewer complaints to Ofcom. Following her controversial performance at the Mawazine Music Festival in 2015, Moroccan Prime Minister Abdelaila Benkourain called it indecent and disgraceful, while an education group claimed that she disturbed public order and tarnished women's honor and respect.
Self-defense is not murder. Maybe we should just, Yes. I'll marry you.
You know those who can't do teach? Those who can't wed. Plan.
Lopez's films often feature her playing relatable everywomen, with Katie Lang of Time noting, "A longtime hallmark of Lopez's filmography is her penchant for stories about survivors. Her characters are never shrinking violets." Discussing the roles she is drawn to, Lopez said in 1998, "I don't think of them as strong women. I like characters that are really part of the story as opposed to window dressing. But I think the interesting thing is that they are real people. Nobody walks around being strong all the time." Film critic Stephanie Zacharek described Lopez as one of the most gifted and appealing performers of the past 2 decades, and yet the movies have rarely known what to do with her and her significant gifts as an actor. While Lopez received acclaim for her early film work, the New York Times writer Kyle Buchanan noted that her tendency to star in romantic comedies and her pop music career lowered her critical bona fides. Taylor Hackford, who directed Lopez in Parker, said she can really act. "She knows how to transmit nuances, to make the subtlest of shifts. Does she have humor? Yes, but at the same time, she can get into the deepest dramatic areas." Lopez, who identifies the romantic comedy as her favorite film genre, has been referred to as the patron saint of romantic comedies and the queen of romantic comedies. In her early films, Lopez played stereotypical roles that signified her as a racialized, exoticized other. In films such as Blood and Wine and U-Turn, her body is fetishized through extreme close-ups and framed as animalistic, primitive, and irresistibly dangerous to the Anglo-American male characters. This shifted with her role in Selena, which affirmed her Latinx identity and won her the loyalty of that significant section of the US and global audience. She has also been criticized for playing ethnically ambiguous parts and tapping into the ability to perform a panethnic other to commodify herself. Her role as an Italian woman in The Wedding Planner has been described as a case of classic Hollywood whitewashing. Lopez has been a polarizing figure in popular culture. Andrew Barker of Variety writes that she exhibits a plethora of contradictions, observing, "Despite a carefully cultivated image as an imperious pop empress in ludicrously expensive outfits, her signature hits bear the titles I'm Real and Jenny from the Block." In 2002, Lynette Holloway of the New York Times described Lopez's image as a blend of ghetto fabulousness and middle-class respectability aimed at mass appeal. The media noted a shift in her public image upon joining American Idol in 2011, with Entertainment Weekly writing, "Gone was her old cut-up swagger. J-Lo 2.0 is an all-embracing, Oprah-fied earth madre." People editor Peter Castro said American Idol made Lopez a celebrity of the people, whereas before, there was a huge distance with the American public. Lopez is widely celebrated for her curvaceous hourglass figure, which earned her the nickname La Guitarra, the guitar. Vanity Fair described her buttocks as, in and of themselves, a cultural icon. Recounting her experience in early films, Lopez stated, "I've always had costume people looking at me a little wary and immediately fitting me out with things to hide my bottom." She often wears revealing outfits to accentuate her curves. Author Mary Beltran opined that for Lopez to unashamedly display her well-endowed posterior during this time period could be viewed as a revolutionary act with respect to Anglo beauty ideals. However, she was also criticized for perceived changes in her image upon launching her music career, which included weight loss and lightening her hair. Considered a fashion icon, Lopez is known for her sense of style and for breaking fashion rules. She is recognized for both her bold red carpet fashion, including 14 appearances at the Haute Couture Met Gala in New York City, and her everyday street style, which is discussed ad infinitum by the fashion press. British Vogue said she added megawatt glamour to every outfit she wore, while Billboard described her style as scantily clad. Lopez's style has been influenced by women who epitomize old Hollywood glamour like Rita Hayworth, as well as her Bronx upbringing and New Yorkan identity. Described as the ultimate sex symbol of the early 21st century, various publications have ranked her as the most beautiful or sexiest woman in the world, including People, People en Español, Vibe, Details, and FHM, with Lopez topping the latter's 100 sexiest women list twice. Lopez has criticized this funny notion in America that you can't be a mom and be sexy, stating, "The truth is that women can be sexy until the day they die." Described as one of the most photographed women in the world, Lopez has been a tabloid fixture and admits to having a less-than-perfect public image. Frances Negron-Muntaner wrote that by 1999, internet chat rooms exploded with anti-Lopez babble, and she became one of the easiest moving targets for cheap laughs as well as anxieties about working-class loud sexuality, and specifically Latino visibility. Much of the media coverage surrounding Lopez in the 2000s focused on her dramatic private life, with several writers describing her as overexposed at the time, despite her continued success. Media outlets often compare her to actress Elizabeth Taylor due to her numerous failed relationships and glamorous public persona. Her high-profile relationship with Combs was described as having defined an age, with Vanity Fair writing that they entered the pantheon of slightly notorious celebrity couples, Liz and Dick, Frank and Ava. Throughout her career, Lopez has also received a bad reputation as being a demanding and outspoken diva, something she denies, stating, "I've always been fascinated by how much more well-behaved we have to be than men." Some of the backlash and fabricated tabloid stories surrounding Lopez have been attributed to her 1998 interview with Movieline, in which she was quoted as criticizing various actors and directors. Lopez, who cried for hours after the article was published, said the comments were made in jest and she was so misquoted and so taken out of context. In 2003, Lawrence Donegan of The Guardian posited that indefensible misogyny and racism were to blame for her position as the most vilified woman in modern popular culture. In 2021, Ben Affleck said, "People were so F-word mean about her. Sexist, racist, ugly, vicious," was written about her in ways that if you wrote it now, you would literally be fired for saying some of the things you said.
Till death do us part. I am Jenny from the block, and this is me now.
Jennifer Lopez is regarded as one of the most influential Latin entertainers of all time, credited with breaking racial barriers in the entertainment industry. She has been described as the first Latina superstar by writer Ned Zeman and the embodiment of the American dream by Robert C. Cottrell in Icons of American Popular Culture. Often dubbed the Queen of Dance, she is considered a triple threat performer and was one of the few actors to successfully cross over into music. Rachel Sklar of the Huffington Post called Lopez a trailblazer, writing, "Beyoncé, Miley, Gaga, any actress who's ever released an album, they are all standing on the shoulders of J.Lo. She was a true triple threat, actress, singer, dancer, and packaged it sometimes outrageously, but always sexily." Lopez is considered a pop icon, with VH1 ranking her at number 15 on their list of 200 greatest pop culture icons, number 16 on 100 greatest women in music, and number 21 on 50 greatest women of the video era. As the highest-paid Latina actress in history, Lopez's film career has been credited with paving the way for greater representation of Latino Americans in Hollywood, a space that was historically a whites-only preserve. Biographer Kathleen Tracy opined that Lopez blazed a trail no openly Latin actress had gone before, noting that previous Latina stars cosmetically downplayed their ethnicity and changed their names. With her role in Out of Sight, she achieved ethnic blind casting, making her an anomaly in the traditionally white space of mainstream Hollywood. By deliberately avoiding stereotypical roles, biographer James Robert Parrish said Lopez helped minimize racial boundaries in show business. Her perceived Academy Award snub for Hustlers was even referenced by Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti when announcing a new initiative for Latino representation in Hollywood. With her musical debut, Lopez played a significant role in the 1990s Latin explosion in entertainment. The Recording Academy called her the breakout female star of the Latin pop movement in American music. Historian Roger Bruns considered her an influential force in driving a growing Latin cultural influence in popular music at the time. Her career ascent has been credited with paving the way for American-born Latina pop artists like Selena Gomez and Becky G, as well as for Latin American pop artists like Shakira, Thalia, and Paulina Rubio to venture into English music. Alongside Ricky Martin, she helped increase the visibility of Latin music in international markets, including East Asia and Canada. Due to her multitasking career, Lopez has been described as the next generation Madonna and the first woman to demonstrate that a Madonna could be a Latina. Lopez's music has influenced the trajectory of 2000s music, including dance, Latin music, R&B, and pop rap collaborations. Billboard named her the greatest pop star of 2001. Scholar Miriam Jimenez Roman suggested that Lopez, who represents the often suppressed history of Puerto Ricans in hip-hop culture, was able to traverse the difficult racial boundaries. In 2011, following her return to prominence, Lopez was deemed the world's greatest musical comeback act, based on a study analyzing over 1 billion Google searches since 2004. In July 2023, Madame Tussauds New York unveiled a wax figure of Lopez inspired by her performance at the Super Bowl LEV halftime show, celebrating her lasting legacy as a multifaceted entertainer. Lopez was named one of Time's 100 most influential people in the world in 2018. In 2012, Forbes ranked her as the world's most powerful celebrity and the 38th most powerful woman. Latina magazine founder Christy Haubegger attributed Lopez's influence to her being the first icon that generationally fits young Latino Americans who followed celebrity culture. Lopez was featured on the first cover of Latina in 1996, with editor Galina Espinoza writing in 2011 that there is no recounting of modern Latina history without Jennifer. Jonathan Van Meter of Vogue described Lopez as having changed the face of modern celebrity. Her ability to start trends has prompted the usage of the phrase the J-Lo effect in popular culture, which has been used in various contexts, including the trend of networks hiring big-name judges for reality competition programs after Lopez's successful casting on American Idol. With her moniker J-Lo, Lopez started a trend of celebrities being given abbreviated nicknames, while Bennifer began the convention of celebrity couple name blending. Described by scholar Helene A. Shugart of the University of Utah as arguably the most visible Latina in contemporary mainstream popular culture, Lopez has been the subject of considerable academic analysis, including in relation to ethnicity, class, body politics, race, Latin culture, and gender. While credited with opening the door to Latino culture having a broader appeal, Lopez has also been a polarizing figure, generating often vehement disagreement about what is and isn't Latino. As a result of the public emphasis on her curvaceous figure, Lopez has been credited with influencing a shift in cultural beauty standards. The surge in popularity of buttock augmentation surgery in the early 2000s was attributed to Lopez. In Latin Sensations, Heron Marquez wrote, "Because she wasn't rail thin, Lopez had broken the mold. Suddenly, it was okay for women to have hips, curves, and a big backside. This has been considered a sign of Lopez's social power in changing cultural standards within the mainstream media as a whole. In 2014, scientists named a species of aquatic mite found in Puerto Rico, Litarachna lopezi, after Lopez. In Tok Pisin, a language spoken in Papua New Guinea, the term palopa is used to describe non-heteronormative people whose identities may correlate with Western definitions of homosexual men or trans women. Its etymology is derived from the name Jennifer Lopez. In 2019, she was presented with keys to the city of Miami Beach, with July 24th being declared Jennifer Lopez Day. The Council of Fashion Designers of America presented Lopez with its Fashion Icon Award in 2019 for her long-standing and global impact on fashion. Her green Versace jungle dress was voted the 5th most iconic red carpet dress of all time in a poll run by the Daily Telegraph. The dress had a significant impact on the fashion industry, celebrity endorsements, and the evolution of red carpet fashion. Images of Lopez wearing the dress became the most popular search query of all time at that point, subsequently leading to the creation of Google's image search. Throughout her career, Lopez has been credited with popularizing various fashion and beauty trends. In 2003, she inspired a trend of curvier mannequins being designed, which fueled a rise in sales for manufacturers and retailers. Lopez's personal style and brand deals have had a considerable effect on sales in the fashion industry. The success of Louis Vuitton's Fall 2003 campaign, for which Lopez served as the brand's model, led to more Hollywood stars becoming image models for fashion and cosmetic labels. In 2021, the Daily Telegraph reported that she was among 10 celebrities whose personal style choices drove the greatest spikes in searches and news coverage for brands. Her appearance at Milan Fashion Week in 2019 generated over $31.8 million in total media impact value. Described as a branding pioneer, Lopez has been credited with ushering in a new era of celebrity branding. Her first fragrance, Glow by J.Lo, influenced the rise of celebrity fragrances in the 2000s. Her fragrance line became the most successful celebrity fragrance line in the world, with sales exceeding $2 billion as of 2012. Lopez's clothing brand was one of the first celebrity fashion lines. Scholars have credited her with redefining how fashion is produced and entwined with other artistic endeavors, and popularizing a trend of utilizing racial ambiguity for branding purposes in fashion and cosmetics.
Artist so iconic, you only need to hear 3 letters. J-L-O.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I love you so much. Thank you.
As of 2018, Lopez has sold more than 80 million records worldwide, and her films have grossed a cumulative total of $3.1 billion. She remains the only female entertainer to have a #1 album and film simultaneously in the United States. With J.Lo, Lopez became the first female solo recording artist under Epic Records to achieve a #1 album in the United States since the label's inception in 1953. J to they, L-O. The Remixes was acknowledged by Guinness World Records as the first #1 remix album on the US Billboard 200. Lopez's single On the Floor is among the best-selling singles of all time, and its music video was recognized as the highest-viewed female music video of all time by Guinness World Records in 2012. Lopez was named the top Billboard Hot 100 female artist of 2001. Billboard ranked her as the 9th greatest dance club artist of all time in 2016, having scored 18 #1 songs on its Dance Club Songs chart. She was named the top Latin touring artist of the decade by Pollstar in 2021. In 2010, Lopez was honored by the World Music Awards with the Legend Award for her contribution to the arts. In 2013, she was presented with the prestigious landmark 2,500th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for her musical contributions, and Univision presented her with the World Icon Award at its Premios Juventud. In 2014, she became the first female recipient of the Billboard Icon Award. In 2017, she was awarded the Telemundo Star Award at the Billboard Latin Music Awards. In 2018, Lopez received the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award at the MTV Video Music Awards, making her the first Latin performer to receive the honor since its introduction in 1984. In 2022, she received the Generation Award at the MTV Movie and TV Awards for her contributions to film and television, and the Icon Award at the iHeartRadio Music Awards. Jennifer Lopez's story is one of talent, perseverance, and unyielding ambition. From the Bronx to the global stage, she's proven that dreams, no matter how big, are worth chasing. Through her music, acting, and dance, J.Lo inspires generations with her passion and dedication. As we close, remember, Jennifer Lopez isn't just a star, she's a symbol of resilience and a reminder that it's never too late to reach for your dreams. Thank you for joining us in celebrating her incredible journey.